Good morning. It's been 2 weeks since the Chicago Marathon and I'm feeling pretty good. I just scheduled my next couple races. I'm going to be doing a 10-mile race in January, and I signed up for the Long Island Marathon the first weekend of May. So I want to keep building on this fitness that I've built over the last few months. So I'll kind of do a little less mileage the next couple months and then start building back up again in February. But I'm feeling like I'm in a good place, so I kind of want to keep pushing and do another marathon soon. So I'll be putting in a lot of miles over the winter. I wanted to pick up a shoe that could help me in that endeavor. So I just picked up the Nike Pegasus 41 in Gore Tex. How rudely interrupted. Back to Gore Tex Pegasus 41, take two here. Batteries on GoPro cameras are really terrible. I had 17% battery the last time I took this out. I walked about 10 feet down the street and the battery died. I'm like, that's 17%, that's really all you got? So I got a full charge today. So gonna go for my second run in the Pegasus 41. One thing kind of interesting with the Pegasus 41, I think this might be the longest running series of a shoe, if not one of, for sure. I'm currently 42 years old. This shoe is 41 years old. So the Pegasus has been around pretty much as long as me. So the other thing that's kind of interesting about that, there's been 41 versions of this shoe. This is the first Pegasus I've ever run in. So as I've said before, I kind of started running a little bit in 2019, got more into running in 2020. So I've been doing it really for 4 years, legitimately, you know, putting in a lot of mileage, trying to improve, running races, that kind of thing. And Nike has never really been at the top of my list. Initially, I was trying to stay away from them, try shoes from other brands. Then I did eventually have the Vaporfly Next Percent 2, and that shoe was a revelation to me. That was my 5K and 10K personal best shoe for a while. I also did try the Alphafly one, which if you've seen my other video about that, I really did not enjoy. But I feel like Nike really excels with their top of the line race shoes, but their training shoes really haven't been competitive with some of the other brands. I feel like they don't focus on, lovely wind today, they don't focus on their daily shoes as much as some of the other brands. Like, I feel like pretty much every other brand you can think of, Saucony, Asics, Hoka, Adidas, all have really good training shoes as well as racing shoes. I feel like Nike focuses on that high end of the technology and then kind of just gives us the scraps for their daily shoes. So these ones have a new midsole. I believe it's called React X. I'll look into that. And these also have air zoom units in both the heel and the forefoot. Something that I immediately noticed with this shoe, the drop is very high. I think it says it's a 10mm drop. I'll double check that, but I've also seen people measure it and they're getting like 11 or 12 millimeters. So it's very high in the heel. So first thing I would say is if someone's a forefoot striker, this is probably not going to be a good shoe for you because there's just so much of the midsole in the heel you got to kind of overcome. But if you're a heel striker or a midfoot striker, this shoe's going to work great. It's also wider in the heel than a lot of Nike shoes that I'm used to. And it's still, it's decent amount of room in the toe box. It's still on the narrow side, but nothing too bad. Nike, I always go a half size up. So I'm usually either a 12 or a 12.5 in running shoes. Nikes, I always go for a 12.5. I find they run a little bit small, and that's the case with these as well. So I would say go for whatever your normal Nike running shoe size is if you're looking at the Pegasus. I do get a decent amount of squish from this shoe in the heel. And I can feel like I feel the air unit in the heel. It's a little bit more bouncy, a little bit more propulsive than what I'm used to from like a normal Nike trainer. So that's a good thing. And I really feel that drop, like it wanting to kind of push me forward to my toes because the toes are so much lower than the heel. I really like this colorway. I think it kind of looks like a Stormtrooper to me, or an Oreo, one or the other. But I kind of like the two-tone there. I got these ones in Gore Tex because winter is coming for you Game of Thrones fans. And I'm going to be doing a lot of running in colder weather. There's often more stuff on the ground, snow, rain, sleet, all that fun stuff. So I wanted to get a waterproof daily shoe that I could use. I have some waterproof trail shoes, but I don't have a waterproof daily shoe. So I was looking for more of a normal daily trainer that I can use in these winter months. These ones do have Gore Tex. The tongue is kind of more built up. I imagine these would not be very breathable, but that's also kind of a good thing right now, because if the weather's getting colder, that's what you want. One thing that I did notice, these lost the extra lace loop on the back of the shoe, so you can't do a runner's knot with these. The regular Pegasus has that, the Gore Tex one doesn't. So I don't know why they did that. Maybe to try and give you one less place that water could get in. But so far I haven't had any problems with heel slippage, so that hasn't been an issue for me. I'm able to tie these down nice and tight. It's a very padded tongue, so you can really tie it down tight and you're not feeling lace pressure from that. It's a sturdy heel counter, stable shoe. These ones also have a different outsole than the normal Pegasus. It's very grippy with a lot of pattern on it. I think Nike calls it like Storm Tread or something like that. I'll look up what the actual name is. But my first run in these, I was actually impressed. I started out, I think 2 miles at easy pace, and then closed with 3 miles, run a little bit faster, and I was easily able to get into the 7s. I think my last mile was like a 7:06, and these shoes still felt comfortable there. So to me, these can definitely be a daily shoe, an easy day shoe, and even turn up the pace a little bit. They are on the heavy side. I'll get the exact weight. So I wouldn't look at these as like a tempo shoe or a race shoe or anything like that. But for a daily trainer, these are checking all the boxes right now. Well, feathering this shoe's cap right now, I'm supposed to be doing my warm-up, you know, running in the 8s, and I was just running 650 because I was really pissed off. So when you want to run fast in these, you can pick it up to under some sub 7-minute pace. Someone completely ran a stop sign and almost hit me. So when I was done yelling at them, I started running a little faster just out of anger. So people, let's obey the rules of the road. There's a stop sign, stop. Maybe look in front of you before you turn. Good idea. So I wasn't able to go up back to a normal pace, warm-up pace there. I was too annoyed. So I channeled the dark side a little bit and let the hate flow through me and down to my shoes and out my body. So that mile, I think I did like a 6:40 something. So under 7 minutes. And again, these shoes are feeling really good at that pace. What I'm getting from them is a lot of stability, which I'm not used to in a Nike shoe. A decent amount of bounce. And the grip in these is fantastic. The ground's not wet at all, but they are really gripping onto just the normal asphalt here. So far, thinking this is really gonna fit the bill as a daily trainer I can use in the winter. Something else I should mention, I picked up the Hyper Ice Normatec boots yesterday, the recovery boots. I used them last night for the first time, and then I used them again this morning before I went for my run, and my legs actually do feel really fresh. So I'm gonna be testing these for a longer period of time to see if that's sustainable. I always think with some of this stuff, some of it's placebo, but I gotta say, my legs feel really good this morning on this run. So I'll continue to use that, and I'll do a review on that after I have some more use of it, how I think it's working for me. So I did one more run in the Pegasus 41 Gore Tex before finishing this video. That was this morning, and did more of a real easy run this time. I'll put the numbers up from there. Did a 7:48, 8:29, 7:44, 8:05, and 8:06. And my heart rate was right in zone 2 pretty much the whole time. So I was able to just kind of tick along in that 8 to 7 minute range very comfortably in that shoe. The regular Nike Pegasus 41 retails for $140. Right now it is on sale on Nike's website for $120. The Gore Tex version is $160, so it's $20 more for the Gore Tex version. And the differences there are the upper is different, being thicker and more padded. With the Gore Tex membrane in there to try and keep the water out. As I mentioned before, it's missing the extra lace loop here, but that hasn't been a problem for me because I am getting good lockdown from this shoe. It does have those reflective elements in a few different places on it as well for nighttime type running. And then the outsole is also different. It has that Storm Tread outsole, which is just a little bit more raised, a little bit grippier than the regular outsole. So how do I rate this as a daily training shoe? I would say basically it's good but not great, but also does kind of exactly what I'm looking for it to do with this shoe. I find it comfortable. The React X is definitely a little bit softer and a little bit bouncier than the previous React foam, and you can feel the air unit in the heel there. I don't really feel it that much in the forefoot. The forefoot's kind of almost like an afterthought with this shoe. It is very flexible. There's no plate in here or anything like that, but there's just so much foam in the midfoot and the heel. It's really encouraging you to land more in this area, and it is kind of squishing you in and rebounding a bit and just gets you over onto your toes. There's not a really substantial toe spring from this shoe since there's no stiffness in the forefoot there. So it's kind of a nice, pleasant bounce and roll and just kind of moves on to your next step without giving you a really explosive toe off. This shoe also being over 13 ounces is very heavy in my size. It doesn't feel like a super heavy shoe. It feels comfortable and stable and supportive and just kind of rolls along, but also would be hard to get up to my absolute top pace in this because I'm not getting that explosive toe off and just the weight of this shoe. Ultimately, am I happy that I ended up picking this up? Yes, I think this is really going to serve the purpose of exactly what I want it to do during the winter months when I'm running, where I don't have to worry about my socks getting wet. I haven't given this a real true test in wet weather yet because it hasn't rained much recently, so I will do an update on this shoe once I run it with it in some rain and snow and other conditions to see how well the waterproofness of it goes. But overall, it's a comfortable, durable shoe that's going to serve me well during these winter miles. So as I mentioned, this is the 41st version of this shoe, which is pretty crazy. So if anybody loves the Pegasus and you've run in a bunch of them in the past, let me know in the comments what your favorite models are. Have you run in the Pegasus 41? Do you think they moved it forward from one of the shoes in the past, or you wish they went back to the 28 or whatever model it is that you love? Because I haven't run in any of them before, so I don't really have a basis for comparison. Again, as I said before, though, I think this is a very good shoe. It's not an excellent shoe. It doesn't have that real get up and go kind of feeling that I'm looking for from a tempo shoe, but that's also not what I bought this shoe for. I bought it for exactly what it's good at, to run those kind of slow paces to a little bit faster paces, be comfortable, stable, supportive, waterproof, and grippy. So you can't have it all. Generally, when a shoe has a nice grippy outsole and waterproofness and a more built-up upper, it's also going to be a heavier shoe. So it's a good shoe overall. Let me know what you think about the Pegasus 41 in the comments. I'll see you in the next video.